Okay, hello there, Avaluna. This is another tutorial so that we can learn how to put some musical parts into the song. We're still working with Love Story by Taylor Swift, and in the last tutorials I showed that if you want to put lyrics in, you go to chords here and you want to turn on bar lyrics because you're not going to see those bar lyrics. So here's what the screen is going to look like. We're in the key of D. We've got our chords in for the song, but it's not obvious where to find the lyrics. If you go to Big Lyrics here and open the Big Lyrics window, you're going to get your karaoke stuff, and you'll know, okay, they are there, and that is going to work. Okay, so Big Lyrics is there for you, and sometimes it looks like it disappears and you have to move it around, and then you can, work on it like that. I'll minimize it now. It goes down to the bottom here. There's also the lyric document window, which is here, and we were talking about how you need to change the lyrics so that when you go, you put a carriage return every time there's a beat. So it's when I first saw you, I close my eyes, and the close is where it comes down on the beat. We were both young when I first saw you, I close my eyes, and the flashback. So that's also got to be reparsed. And the flashback starts, I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the light, see the party, the ball gown, see you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know. So you do that. Now, how do you see them in context? Let me save these changes. In context, what you're going to do is go to chords here, right click, go to layers, and then turn on bar lyrics, and they show up right there. Now, that change wasn't reflected here. That change that I did in the lyric document window is not there. It's not there. Sometimes the document lyric window disappears. There it is. It came up there. Okay, and so you can say, when I first saw you, I closed my eyes, and the flashback, I'm standing there. So that's where it was messed up. So I'm going to put Control C, and then I'm going to go back to when I first saw you and double click on it, and then I'm going to paste this in, and then there you go. Except that it moved everything forward, and that's not good. I'm standing there, and then so this is the one on a balcony in the summer air, and I messed that up. So in summer, and then this has got to be taken out of here. It's not summer air. The air comes in there, and then see the lights of the part of the ball, it's going to make the crowd and say hello. Okay, so that's working now. So you have to paste this stuff in, and you have to do your edits by double clicking and making it purple and then going in and edit. So that's one thing you can do. All right. Now, what about recording the music, the singing, that is? I was mentioning that you want to go to options and make sure that your driver setup has the audio box, like the one I got you from Pau, France this summer. That has to be selected as your driver, as your audio driver setup. And you'll probably want to be on MME. So that's the audio type. And so then when you go to do your recording, you click on this button here, and it says, well, where are you going to record and where you're going to record to, melody or a utility. I'm going to put it into utility. It defaults to melody for that. And you set your recording levels. That's coming from the line, so you can see it there. I'm talking. It goes green there. Okay. So then when you have the VU meters, that's these things here. If I close them, then when I go to record, it's going to bring them back up again. And you don't want to be in the red like this. You want to be between green and yellow. All right, once again, I want to go to Utility 1. I'm going to start the song singing from bar 7. because it really starts in 9, but I want a 2-bar intro. I don't want to hear the whole banjo part and then wait and wait and wait to sing, so I'm going to start from bar 7, and then you hit record. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the lights, see the party, the ball gown. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know. Okay, so if we then stop that and we say, okay, keep the take, where is it? Well, when you listen to it, it should be there. We were both young when I first saw you. I closed my eyes. Okay, so it is there, and that needs to be edited, by the way. There's a double W. All right, so it's there, but how do you see it? So the way that you see it is you go to Window, and you go to Audio Edit Window, and there you see the vocal. Okay. Chord. We were both young when on a balcony in summer. Lights, see the party, the ball gowns, see you make... Okay, so it's there. That's how you would see it. And then it's not going to show up there. It will show up, by the way, in the tracks window. It should be down in utilities somewhere. Where is it? Utility 1. So it should be there, and it is. There it is, right there. So, as you can see, it's way down in that utility window. There's the MIDI notes for the rest of the music, and so when you play it... We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on about... Okay, so that's in there. That's how you see that. You can't edit it. That's what RealBand is for. There's another program for editing the waveforms. It doesn't work well in Band in a Box, so I can't cut that little thing out there, that thing where I say record with Nice Scream in the background. There's no way to cut that out in here. So this is for laying down some vocals in context. But there's other parts we want to be able to lay down in context. Then we can go into RealBand to do our real editing. And what I want to look at today is how we would put in that classic banjo part. And to do that, I'm going to go back to our... I'm actually not going to go back to our chord sheet window. I'm going to go to Notation and go to Note Insert Mode. And there's the song right there. And we are not at the beginning of the song. Close that. So we'd have to go back to the beginning. It really helps to have two screens if you're doing this. But if I go to the chord sheet window, here's the banjo part. Right, that's there. And then when I go and open up my Notation Note Insert Mode, there we're back at the D, and we want to put in the banjo part. Now the banjo part looks something like this. Let's go. Okay, so so to do that, what we're going to do is go into this grid here, editable notation mode, and you see these lines, and they're on the quarter. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. There's 4 lines for each of the beats in a 4/4 song. This is in 4/4. You can see over there a quarter note. Has 4 quarter notes in a bar. So it's ba da 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 da. So that is, if this is a D, ba 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 da da, D E F F. It's the third. So there's the F right there, and we'd click on it. Also have to make sure that we're in the right. We're in utility. We don't want to be in utility 1 because that's where our vocal is. So we want to go to utility 2 and do our recording there, and then we want to go. There's da, and say yes. Now it's put in a whole note for the entire bar, but it's really da da ba da ba da, and that's an eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's not the 16th, these are 16ths, 1 E and it's 1 and. So it's this one, ba ba ba. So that's a fifth. So there you go. Now it's trying to figure out what we want to do, and the notes coming after it, it's predicting our rests until you put them in. So it says now, okay, this is an eighth note because you put that other note, but I'm going to do this as a dotted quarter, and then I'm going to do this as a half note. And so it doesn't really know until we put the next note in. So it's 1 and but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's a D, and you can hear the chord by, oh, didn't mean to do that, sorry. How do I hear that? Edit current chord. There's a way to listen to the chord. Let's see. How do you listen to the chord? No, I don't want to do that. Maybe you come out of this mode. No, we don't want to do that. We're keeping that on for now. Well, there's a way to listen to the chord, and I don't know exactly what it is, but that's a D, and the D has got to be here, and then it's an E. Ba ba ba. Same. Can you drag it? Yes, you can. And the da 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 da. Do re mi fa so. This is the D. There we go. Da 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 da. Right. There. There it is. And then da, and then up again. Ooh, that didn't look good. Ba da ba. So we're going to click here. There we go. And then we're going to click on that again and say yes. And then back up to the E. Ba 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 da ba da. Oh, ba. Yeah, no, it's ba. Oops, and we don't want that. So let's see if we can delete that note there. Ba 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 da ba ba. I think it's that. If that's what it is, then let's see what it sounds like if we play it. Yep, that's it. So once you have that, you don't need to type it in again. You can copy it and oops, I keep hitting spurious notes. Let me go and grab that or this and then Control C to copy, and it says what do you want to copy? Starting at this location, the duration I want to copy is 4 beats actually, and 0 ticks. And so I copy that, and then I go up here and find my next insert point, which is there. And then I do paste. Control V, and I want to make sure that it's also zeroed out. It's no ticks. Chorus 1, bar 2, beat 1 is where it comes in, and there we go. So let's try this out. And then we can do the same thing. We can enter it and then vary it. So let's also right-click here, and let's, I guess right-clicking doesn't help. You got to do pasting with Control V once we're on that. And make sure you're on that first bar. There we go. And do it again. Zero this out. Bar 3, chorus 1. And then let's also do it on this next bar here. Again, come to there. Control V to paste. Zero it out so it's quantified. And there. And it's going to sound a little off because it is off. Watch. That's not what she does. So when you listen to what she does. Oh, she does. ba ba ba. It was ba ba, then she changed it to ba ba, so it's ba ba. But here she goes ba. She drops it down to the E. Whoops. So I got to bring that in. And I got to delete that note. Ba ba. And I think that one goes there. And we got to get rid of this note. All right, so let's see how this sounds. That sounds like what it is. Let's save this. Save song. And then ba ba ba. She's using the same thing, the same refrain. Da 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 da. So when we go further on into the song, yep, gotta keep go. We went way too far. All right, let's see if we can go back. That's at the end of the song. My oh my, where did my cursor go? There it is. Let's see. Let me close that up. Okay, so we got to go one step forward. Will it let us? Measure 5. Okay, so we'll paste this in again. Oops. So let me get over to here. It's painstaking, but it does work. So I got to get into here. Well, I want to delete that note. And I want to paste in that into bar 5. And then, let's see, so she goes, and it's going to happen twice, so let me come up here and then we'll do the edit. So, get to zero that out. All right, so what does she have? She's coming in and she's saying, da ba 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 ba, so it's ba. Let's see. Ba, ba, ba. And that one there. Oops, get rid of that. Okay, let's try this. Nope. The B minor. Ba, ba. I think maybe I'm a bar too bad. Let's see. Da, ba, ba. So this should be ba. Yeah, it should work. Chord. So it should be actually on the F sharp. This is messed up. It's like 2 notes on here. So let's remove one of them. Bring this down. Okay, so it goes back to there. Chord. This would be da. So paste this in here again. And paste this in here. Paste it in. And make sure it's zeroed. And go to here. And then ba ba. That's on the G now. Get rid of this F sharp. And then this goes up to G. And get rid of this F sharp. So we have chord. We were both young when I first saw you. Okay, so it's there. It might not be the best sound for it because it's in piano, and I wanted it to be in utility. Oh, it got into the piano line. Well, that I have to work on because I mean I can grab all of it, I suppose, if I take the entire line and copy it, and then go to utility. I thought there was more utilities than there are. Or did it just add it as a piano? So I'm a little bit confused about where you place stuff in here, but if we paste that in, there it is, and now we're on utility 3, and we were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the... Okay, so we've put that in, and now it jumped to piano 2. So it's really crazy. Trying to figure out... Oh, it calls it piano 2. So it was messing with our heads. It was making a piano 1 and making a piano 2 because that's what it thinks we want. But let's go back to the beginning of the song, and let's scroll this all the way back if it'll let us. Okay, and let's go to piano 1, which it wrote for us. How do we change that into a different instrument? That is going to be the next question that we have. And because it says piano, it expects there to be a piano. We don't have any other instruments for it to use. I think that's why. So we'd have to bring in some other sound if we want to. I could change this to a guitar, but that's the guitar line. So when I look at piano 1, it was entered as a yeah, it's hard to find. The master, the bass, there's the bass line, the electric piano that it composed, there's the drums that it composed, there's the guitar that it composed, strings, there's nothing, melody, there's nothing, soloist, there's nothing, and then through, and then audio. So it really is about just dropping down and finding the part. And then it's decided that it's going to be a piano, and I'm not sure how to keep it from being a piano. But at least we know that we've got the ability to add notes in for now until we figure out how to change the part. And I'm looking for it, but I don't see a way to change the part. There's this thing called scrub mode, which is pretty cool. So when you have that on, it takes more memory, but it lets you scrub through, which is really cool. This part here is big notes mode, and that actually shows you if you want to know the names of the notes. That's very helpful to have, the big notes mode, if you don't know what they are. So that's nice. And then when you hit scrub and you scrub through, you can hear there's the D, which is the name of the chord here, right? And there's the A and the E. And it is an A over E, after all, so that makes sense that the E would be down here. So that's cool. Nice stuff going on there. Bars, you can set the number of bars per screen. If you want to see 8 bars per screen, then you can really make it smaller. You can go all the way up to 16, and then you see the whole part there. We were both young when I first saw you. Okay, so we'll figure out all the subtleties of getting different instruments, but that's how you enter notes, and it's all about going to those different windows, and again, having more than one screen would really help. But there's the lead sheet that it can now produce, and you could play from there. chord. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the lights, see the party, the ball gowns, see... All right, so much that we can do with this. I hope that helps in some way to begin to work with this and know that you have all these options to learn the music and know that you'd have to come up here to see a given track. That's when notation is turned on. If you want the chords, that's turned on anyway. Then the tracks, and you can see if you have the vocals down in here. There's what I put in, the da 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 da. That's this here, and you can mute it if you don't like it. So you have that in the tracks. You have, I'm not sure what this does. Audio edit, we know, is for doing the audio editing, and there you'd have to show, for example, utility 1 or wherever wherever you recorded your vocal. There's our vocal there. That's in audio edit. There's piano roll, and there's lead sheet, and that depends again on what you pick. So if you pick the da-da-da-da-da, you'll see it there. So a lot of different buttons to learn about. Guitar, I don't think guitar will show anything, but let's see. Let's see if we hit the spacebar. Oh, it's way up here. Chord. We were both young when I first saw you. I closed my eyes. So yeah, you can see where it lays in on the guitar. You can look at it on the piano as well. Let's look at that da 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 that we put in, and let's see what that looks like. Saw you. I closed my eyes and the... But of course you have to go to the beginning of the song to do that. So we go to chords, we go to the banjo part, and then we go to the piano. Chord. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. So you can see all those from the big piano, the big guitar. The drums you could see if you click on the drum window and go to where the drums come in. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there. So you have that. We know you have the big lyric, and then there's this fake sheet, and that we already have. That's displaying the chords. All right. So a lot to cover here, but that's some of the basics, and we'll get into it when we meet. Thanks. Bye.